First, let me know y'all thoughts on today's new episode down below. What did y'all think? Did y'all like the episode? Are y'all shocked by the ending? Or should I even ask? Look, I said, Nick, you had one freaking job, Nick. You had one job. Now you don't lost her. I said, well, technically, you never really had her, but you had a chance. You had a little slim chance. You had an ounce of a chance, and you don't blew it already. You don't blew it already, Nick. I said, they didn't even show if anybody checked on him or not. It looked like I don't know if he hit his head or what, but he was laid out, and I said, nobody checked on him. But yeah, I'm gonna give a quick summary. I already said, Nick, you had one job, now you don't lost her. Well, technically, you never had her. But Ridge saved Brooke, y'all. Spoiler alert. He ends up kissing her or whatever. First, he gave her CPR and everything, and then she came to. Then he ends up kissing her, and he said he can't live without her. Said he almost lost her, and he'll never take her for granted again. So he gonna make it right or whatever. Excuse me. He was like, I'm gonna make it right. I said, Taylor. You knew it. You knew it, girl. But I said, they back already. Excuse me. They back already. I said, Taylor, you should have saw this coming. But yeah, let me see what else. I already said they didn't even show if Nick was still laid out or not. Donna and Katie was just talking about Nick, Ridge, and Brooke. Leon says that Grace an angel, and she's not like Reese. Grace wants Finn to keep it between them. But that was just a quick summary, y'all. So let's dive into it. Ridge and Brooke. So they did a replay, basically, where they showed Ridge trying to call out to Brooke or whatever, and she ends up falling into the water. He jumps into the water or whatever, and he gets her, and they put her on. I'm assuming that's the boat where they save you or something if you go overboard. And he was giving her CPR and stuff like that, trying to get her to, come back to and stuff like that. She starts seeing the light. I said they love doing that, don't they? Let it see. Excuse me. They love doing that, making it seem like somebody done died or something. They did it with Eric. They did it with Liam. And now they done did it with Brooke. Then they show her, I'm assuming there was a flashback. I don't know, because I don't remember seeing that part. But they showed, I guess they was on like a beach or something. And Brooke was walking towards Ridge or whatever. And then they was just together or whatever. So she finally came to. And that's when he was like, what did he say? I think he said he can't live without her. I think he was telling her he can't live without her and stuff like that. And I said, Taylor. I knew they was going to do this. But yeah, Brooke fell in the water. Ridge jumped in. Donna was telling Katie about the ring, and she was in shock and stuff like that. Holt still taking care of Liam, fixing his pillows and everything. I said, girl, I'm ready to see what happens between her and Carter. Then with Daphne being back, I'm assuming that's going to be the next storyline, y'all. Liam was saying how he feels good. They still talking about the same thing. Grace was trying to explain herself to Finn. He talking about something he want to know everything. I said, I think she pretty much don't told you everything, but she ends up telling him, how she did it. And y'all was right. Y'all said that that medication was how she was making him sick, and she did. I said, girl, that's another charge. That's another charge, ain't it? Hold on. I said, she got about 7 charges, don't she? But yeah, Leon said he feel good. Grace trying to explain herself. Leon said that Grace saved him twice. Finn said he's shocked. He can't believe she did that. And she's still over here talking about, so she a good doctor. I said, girl, please save it. They ain't gonna tell him. We could just keep this between us or whatever. Did you tell your wife? Did you tell Bill or whatever? I said, obviously he ain't told nobody. If he's trying to get the truth out of you, what he gonna tell them? He suspected? Hold on. He over here asking questions. I said, she had like, she gonna hit him over the head or something. I said, don't tell her that. I said, watch her. You know when people get desperate, they go to hitting you over the head and stuff. But yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, then they show a promo where he was telling her how she's going to tell Liam the truth today. And they show her over at Bill's house, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Grace ends up saying that Liam did have a brain bleed, and that was her opening to fake this whole cancer thing. They end up showing Nick. They showed him, and he was like laid out. And I said, did he hit his head? Excuse me. I said, did he hit his head or whatever? And they never went back to him, did they? I don't think so. I didn't see them go back to him. I said, so y'all don't care that if Nick made it or not? I said, wake up, Nick. You had one job. I said, you had one job, Nick, and you done lost already. But yeah, I said, look like Nick is unconscious. Ridge got his woman. He got her. Grace said that she had bookies on her back, and I said, well, now you finna have the cops on your back, sweetheart. I said, well, now you finna have the cops on your back, girl. Hold on. Where? Let me see. I lost my spot. Where it is? Oh, okay. Liam was sick because of the prescription that Grace gave, because Finn was asking her questions about it, and that's when she revealed that he got sick because of the prescription or whatever. Grace wants Finn to understand. Somebody, we doctors and, as parents. I said, girl, you going to jail. Or you should go to jail. Ridge started giving Brooke CPR and stuff like that, trying to get her to wake up. Hope said she'll never be able to forgive Reese for what he did. And they repeatedly said that he's still in jail. Because y'all know I was asking. Because I thought they said he got released a couple of years ago. I could have sworn they said he got released. But yeah, apparently he's still in jail. Leon says that Grace an angel. She's nothing like Reese. Finn tells Grace after what Reese did to Hope and Leon in regards to, Beth or whatever. You go and do this or whatever. She's like, I know or whatever. But, my daughters was in trouble and all this other stuff. In danger, I mean. Grace says she wants us to stay between them or whatever. Oh, girl, please. I said, you better go tell her like it ain't nothing, Finn. I said, go tell her. So far, you always tell stuff when you find out. I said, you better go tell her right now. But yeah, what else? Donna and Katie was just standing up there talking about the same thing. Brooke and Ridge and stuff like that, and how they belong together, and it's only one man for Brooke. I said, all these men, never mind. Never mind. How about I say all these men she done had? Somebody's only one. Hold on. Let me see. What else? I lost my spot again. Let me see. Oh, Donna and Katie end up saying how, I think Donna was the one who said something about she hoped that everything's okay. And Katie was like, why wouldn't anything be okay? And that's when they both said how they haven't heard from her. They haven't seen her posted and stuff like that. And that's unusual. Ridge ends up telling Brooke he can't live without her and stuff like that. And she ends up waking up. Then he kisses her. I said, no. I said, no, it's a trap. But yeah, Ridge still kissed Brooke. I said, Taylor. But yeah, he kissed Brooke. He said he almost lost her. He'll never take her for granted again. I think that was the last scene. He got her in his arms and stuff. And I was like, that's sad. I said, here we go again. That's sad. Hold on. Now y'all know yesterday, my review, I said, now, we all been saying, like, if this boat crash happens and stuff like that, this is what's going to be what reunites them together. But I was like, maybe not. Maybe when she wake up, she going to see, I almost died. Let me stop being a fool over this man that I've been a fool for decades. No. No. She's still the same fool. But yeah, she just happy or whatever. He told me, I said, he going to make it right. I'm going to make it right. I said, you going to have to make it right with Taylor because, well, you can't make it right with her. She going to be upset. She's going to be upset. She going to be like she knew it. But this time, I hope she don't say, no, it's Brooke's fault. I mean, technically, it's both of their faults because they keep doing the same doggone thing. But this time, she needs to acknowledge the fact that both of them going to be a fool for him for the rest of their days. Look like it. Hold on, y'all. But yeah, how do y'all feel about this? How did y'all feel about the episode? Are y'all shocked by what Ridge told Brooke? Let me know down below. Because some people were saying if this happens, they was like, I can't believe this going to happen or whatever. But at the same time, we've seen that for how many years now? How many years we don't see the same thing? But yeah, let me check my notes. I think that's everything though. I think the last scene was, I don't know, what was they? Was they still on the boat? All you see is like the sunset or something in the background and stuff like that. He got her in his arms or whatever, and that's when he's saying how he gonna make it right or whatever, and he's never taking her for granted again. And that was the end of the scene, y'all. That's it. That's all. Let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces. Have a great rest of the day and be safe.